In today's clips, I tap both tonight's conversation and whole math to tackle the question, can you really have it all? Is 80% enough? And should you just leave if you're not getting everything that you want?
That's it, I'm out of here.
Wait a minute, I almost forgot. Watch to the end, because towards the end of the clip, somebody I ain't never seen on tonight's conversation came through and tore that place up and down.
Yes, good play.
Do you think having 80% of what you need is enough in a relationship?
And we had to start doing math.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, 80%, what's that, a B?
Technically, that's good.
Yeah, depending on what state you in. No, I mean, you're never going to get 100%.
You know that I'm telling the truth.
And to be chasing that perfection, I just feel like you're always going to be lacking. You're never going to be satisfied.
That is also true, yes.
And I think that that's a big problem with our society today. People are just never satisfied. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to better yourself. Mm-hmm. So in that aspect, I understand, like chasing a better version like of yourself.
I get it.
But jumping from one relationship to the next, you're never going to get it because nobody's perfect.
This is what it feels like to be human.
And you're two different people. So it's just like the things that you want, the way that you grew up, the way that you think, your mindset, your actions and everything, nobody is going to be able to 100% be completely compatible, in that aspect. And I think we just need to learn to be okay with that. Don't sweat the small stuff. Life is too short. Get over it.
Just get over it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you have, of course, the core things, you have those core things intact. You want to find someone that has like good character, good morals or what have you. You guys have very similar worldview, because when you're thinking about a family, you want to make sure that you're raising your children basically the same way. Yeah. You don't want to be over here and your spouse is over here. You want to be, somewhere here, so that way you guys can do it together. I think it's dangerous to be like, I'm going to continue looking, because you're going to find yourself alone.
But I'm so lonely.
With a lot of baggage, because you're going to meet a whole bunch of people at first who may seem like, oh, this person has it all together. They have all the things that my other person didn't have. And then once you get in a relationship with them and you didn't with them for a certain amount of time, then you're going to realize, oh, well, they have all the stuff that this other person didn't have. But now they don't have this. They don't do this. They don't do that. And you're going to be jumping from one person to the next.
Oh, gosh, I have so much to show now. She just opened up so much. All right, so we just did a video and it's been a very popular clip, but this is what it looks like when you refuse to accept the 80%.
If a man came along, he's making $70K, he got a business plan, he got a vision, he's working towards that day in and day out, and you would have to look up at him on all the intangible. Does he get a chance?
No. I would rather be single. This is the thing.
Wow.
Let me tell you why. I have gotten to a certain point because I've built to a certain point. I am disciplined in everything. I'm disciplined in relationship with God, in my emotions, in my mentality, in my energy, in my body, and how I eat. I am very disciplined. And so I would expect that a man is the same thing. Because when you're disciplined, whatever you do the most is what compounds in your life. Why would I not give a shot to a person that makes $70,000 a year? I could put you on. Hell, I could even hire you. Come on, let's work together. We could do all of that. But as far as my man, because this is the thing, I refuse to give into a life where I start to feel like I can't have it all.
Delusional.
That's what it looks like when you're saying you want 100% and you can accept 80.
It's a shame, really.
A couple of things. Number one, for you to think that you are 100% of what anybody else wants makes you delusional.
I mean, come back to reality for just a moment here.
Number two, there's always a missing piece.
Every single time.
Always. You can say I'm disciplined in everything, my relationship with God, my finances, my this, my that. If you're that concerned about money, you and Christian ethics have a little bit of an issue. I'm not gonna go as far as to say it's saying that you're going to hell or anything.
It doesn't work that way.
There's no problem with you working in your gift, working in your purpose, and getting money because you're doing what God has told you to do that you can then use to bless others.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Even if you make $500 million doing what you're doing.
I don't have any problem with that.
He's giving you that. If you desire it, if it is the thing that you are working for instead of working for the kingdom, your ideal of I'm disciplined in my walk with God, that is now shaky. Just to throw something out there about her being a little off when you listen to people like that. And if you think that you're the prize,
Oh boy, here we go.
you probably off. Yep. I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you off. Anybody who thinks that they're that good would not listen to somebody show them their faults. And guess what marriage does? Gigantic mirror. It don't mean you trash, but you definitely ain't all of that.
Yep.
Yep.
Hold on.
Let's frame it this way. We're speaking to, you know how some people will leave a relationship or be tipped into to chase that 20% of what they're not getting from their partner.
Oh, okay, good. Do I have permission to come from a different standpoint?
Guess what? Somebody who has a 20% that your husband or your wife doesn't have, you're always gonna be like, Whether it's a personality trait, whether it's a physical trait, you're going to notice. Be prepared for that.
I am inevitable.
There are approximately 5 stages of love, right? We're talking about your emotional interaction with the person that you're married to in a long-term relationship with. You have infatuation. At that point, you don't see nobody else but them. Depending on how often you see them, that can last for 2 weeks. It could last for 2 months. It could last for 6 months. No, they ain't gonna last for 6 months. It could last for 6 months.
Possibly, yeah.
That can happen. Most of the time it lasts for, around a month, 3 weeks, whatever, depending on how often you and the person are seeing each other. You build up this idea about their representative. I actually had a clip on that part too. Maybe I'll put it in here.
The key to transitioning from one phase to the other, it's gonna sound real bad, but it's a slow and gradual disappointment. Right? And you have to do this, because if you don't do it, then what do you end up with? You end up in a relationship where you're not truly known and you're just performing all the time. And that's probably not sustainable, but it's certainly not very satisfying.
And there'll be a sudden disappointment.
There generally is. I talk about that in the book. The crisis of disappointment is one of the first crises that all nascent relationships must pass through. And on some level, the relationship doesn't even begin in earnest until couples go through the crisis of disappointment, where either through one significant betrayal or the accumulation of small inconsistencies, the fantasy on which the relationship has been based up until that point shatters. And the person is really no different from who he or she was the day before, but he or she's going to feel completely different, because it's almost like the scales have dropped from your eyes and you're seeing this person. And maybe what seemed cute and lovable and adorable just a week ago now is completely infuriating and difficult to live with. Sometimes the very things that we're most attracted to tend to be the things that we dislike most about our partners further down the road. It's a cruel irony.
So interesting when you talk about this moment that some relationships go through where they have that sudden disappointment, where the kind of honeymoon effect, the halo effect of this person kind of shatters. And you say that's when the relationship actually begins.
Well, yeah, because it's at that point where you have the opportunity at long last to see the other person for who he or she is. And you couldn't see that before. You just saw what you wanted to see. You were distorted in your perception by your attraction. And you need some of that distortion, because why else would you have taken the risk and the expense and the opportunity to pursue this relationship up until that point?
So you have that initial phase, which is the infatuation. Then you have commitment, where most people, you commit to the person on some level, depending on what the person that you're interested in, what they have access to a lot of times. Because a lot of people who have a lot of options are very hesitant to enter to the commitment phase. People who have okay options, but they really, really, really into you, will commit to you to some extent. We're dating exclusively. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. We're not dating anybody else. That's when that comes in. Then there's disillusionment.
All downhill from here.
You just found out that when they use the bathroom, they leave that joker smelling like onions, corn, and boiled eggs, bro.
Damn.
Bruh.
Like it's just raw.
That's messed up.
You finally figure out that their booty really do stink.
I think I'm going to be sick.
You finally figure out that smell that you thought was her skin was really perfume and the lotion that she be rocking, as well as all of these body washes and stuff. You realize that it ain't her, and she actually got some nasty sides to her. Same thing for y'all ladies. You always knew he stank, but you never smelled it. And until this one day, he had the nerve to let out a fart. What was he thinking?
Ew. No, that was supposed to be cute.
So that's when that happens, or, it's some type of personality difference where you clash.
What do you mean I'm not your type?
Or maybe there's an idea of how both of you saw your futures that don't align perfectly, and it changes the way that you look at them.
Right.
You're not the same anymore.
You haven't even really fallen in love yet. Because after that is the real love. When you love a person in spite of that mess.
I love you.
And then after that, there's building phase, where you guys are actually start to build a family together, build a life together. You're merging your lives completely, and you're just accepting the flaws that come as long as the other side outweighs it. So that's how the stages of love go. Be careful with this 80%. Y'all not gonna get much better than 80%. I'm telling you right now. If you get somebody who is 80%, you are so fortunate.
Yep.
Because in this country, we want love and we want all of the responsibility and all of the duty. And it usually don't come like that. Let's see what else Kitty got to say.
I don't know if you're a believer, but I'm a believer. And I fully understand that God gives us somebody who is not going to meet every single condition that we have. He gives us a person who is not going to meet every need that we have. And it teaches us how to love unconditionally. It also teaches us to work and be more patient and be more understanding, but it also teaches us how to die to ourselves as well, die to our unforgiveness, die to our pride.
I just had to do that real quick. Okay, Kitty.
Oh, this is part of the reason why a lot of people have issues dealing with relationships long-term in today's society. She's actually spitting a lot of the reasons because nobody wants to die to self because our number one priority is to pursue happiness. And you can't pursue happiness while growing as an individual, while gaining wisdom and understanding of certain things, while becoming a better person and challenging yourself. You can't do that and be happy, bro. It comes with a lot of not happy moments.
You got that right. Sure do. Right. So it's important for you to be rooted in Christ, for one, because that's where you're going to get everything from. You're going to get that unconditional love, and you're going to get Christ who can meet every single one of your conditions. But if you start leaning and looking over the fence for that 20%, it's going to hurt you later on in the long run, because you had somebody who God put in your life for a reason to teach you something. And you wanted to run away from the lesson, but that's a biblical standpoint.
How funny is it to be complaining to your partner about the 20% they're not giving you, and you only giving them 50? You only giving them 40. How egotistical do you have to believe that you are 100% satisfying them as well?
Come on.
We both are humans. We both have flaws. We both fall short. And that's the point of that commitment. It is loving the wholeness of a person.
And I think if we look at it from a mathematical perspective, right, if the 100% is supposed to be perfection, can I not take a lack of 20% if I know that I can't give perfection, nor can I expect perfection from my person? That's one thing. I think another thing is where people mess up at is where they distribute the 20 and the 80. If you don't know yourself, you don't know your values, you don't know what's important to you, you don't know what your non-negotiables are, you mess around and put something that needed to be in your 80 and your 20. And then that's what'll draw you away. That's what'll make you feel like I'm missing something that's extremely important, because if you had done some of the work, the evaluating beforehand, you would have understood what all really needs to be in that 80. And your compromisables, that's what's supposed to be in your 20s. The things that you...
She just dropped bars right there.
That's cool, boys!
That's a whole nother part.
That part.
Bruh.
That is so true.
Man.
Got our priorities jacked up.
This is why relationships where people meet and we're friends first, real friendship, not we're friends because we're going to try to take it slow and we always had a romantic interest in each other. No, you're actually friends, and you grow up in a certain community of people where you get to know them, you get to know their family members, you get to know people they hang around with, you get to watch them and see how they interact with other people. If you fall in love with somebody after seeing all of that stuff, you have a higher chance of falling in love with who they are as a person.
Right.
And I want to say this, everything that we say in our channel is about probabilities and percentages. There is nothing that we could say that would ever apply to every person. That's just not the way humans work.
Right, but that's not how life works.
There's probably somebody out there in this world, as improbable as it may be, whose life would be better if they would have sniffed that crack. Yes!
I'm here for the same reason you is, man. I want some crack.
Their life is so horrendous and their decision making is so jacked up that it would have been better if they just went with crack, because at least they would have the high.
Ouch.
Without it, they have nothing.
That's just wrong.
Somebody who off themselves might have been better if they would have took a little bit of crack to take the edge off.
This is a really bad idea.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It might only be one person out of a billion, but guess what? That's still not 100%.
Peanut butter and cracks.
Hey, listen, I'm just kidding.
Sounds so wet.
Okay? So don't think that anything we telling y'all is 100% for everybody on the planet. That's not how it works. We're talking about things that give you better ability, better percentage of a chance of having a successful relationship. Okay?
Things that you can really go without, the things that might get on your nerves, the things also that you can change. I spoke on that earlier. Clothes, superficial things. hair, all of that stuff changes. But when we talk about what's supposed to be in that 80, that character's supposed to be in that 80. You know, that humor, that likability that we spoke about in the earlier podcast, that's what's supposed to be in that 80. And if you make sure that your 80-20 is distributed properly before you step foot into that commitment, you're going to be just fine.
If my wife would have been like, hair was something that would make her pop the balloon on you, she wouldn't have known what she was going to get with me. When we first met, what did I have? Did I have a low-cut fade?
No, when we first met, you were bald.
Yep. And then when we got back together, 7-8 years later, I had a low-cut fade.
Low cut.
When we got married, I still had the low-cut fade.
Then you started locking.
I had locks coming all the way down my back. I had to start clipping them because I kept on sitting on it when I went back like that. I love my lock phase. I did. I did. But then what happened was me, Rihanna, and that girl from that video I was cracking on a while ago, we all have massive foreheads, and I had to shave that joker off, bro. I'm thinking if I'm gonna put a picture in that, because I don't know if I want to embarrass myself. Damn, that is. Man, that's so much forehead, bro. I was reflecting the sun and the moon and everything, bro. And I was like, yo, this is ridiculous. And then I'm trying to hold on to my hair like I'm George Jefferson. I'm cutting it off. So I done had hair down my back. I had short hair, and now I'm bald. I had no mustache. I had a little chin strap thing with a mustache. I had little chops over here. I grew out the beard, cut my mustache off. Now I got the full, I had the thing blowed out. Now it's sucked back up. Me and my hair done went through 32 different lifestyles since me and her been married. And for all you jokers popping balloons because the hair look, you're crazy.
And you wonder why you're alone.
This is part of the reason why this generation is so jacked up when it comes to dating. Because the things that's supposed to be in our 20s are in our 80s. She killed that.
Yeah, that good. That boy is good.
So I hope that this helped y'all to get some perspective. Most likely, a lot of you guys who are subscribed, y'all already knew this stuff. Yep. Because if you subscribe, you know everything. You're perfect.
Yes. But share this with someone who doesn't.
Share this with the imperfect people because maybe they'll subscribe.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you guys made it this far and you're not subscribed, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, okay? Turn your post notifications and give us a thumbs up, all right? It helps with the algorithm. It tells YouTube that you appreciate what we're putting down.
What we're putting down?
Hey, everybody. Down in the description, there are 2 links.
One is to a GoFundMe, and the other one is to a video that explains what the GoFundMe is for. Long story short, we have a medical situation with our daughter that we have to pay for everything out of pocket, and we could really use you guys' help. If you have the time, we'd love for you to go check it out. If you have the money, the funds, we'd love for you guys to help. If not, maybe you could send a link to somebody else who can help. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Press the off button.